Hello, and welcome back to A&A News, your go-to news broadcasting station. I'm Allie Brookhart, and this is my co-host, Audrey Thronson.
We have some breaking news. There's a new development in the upcoming election. 1928 has sure been an interesting year for politics. Four-time governor of New York, Al Smith, is running against Herbert Hoover with Calvin Coolidge as his vice president.
Warren Harding brought us back to normalcy after the war. We'll keep you updated on who will be elected and who will follow in his footsteps. Now, we have a special segment.
Let's go to a new art gallery featuring some of the most recent works by Maxfield Parrish. Kalyn, how's the gallery?
Thank you, Audrey. I am currently at the opening of the Extravagant Illusion Gallery opening on the main drag. The main artist shown today is Maxfield Parrish. You may know of his popular collection called Myths and Fairy Tales. To give us more information on the artist, I have with me the director of the gallery, Ruth.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm swell. How are you?
Lovely.
Before we start, may I say this gallery is quite spiffy?
Well, thank you, Kalyn. Now where should we start?
How about what the appeal is of Parrish's work?
Parrish's paintings often invoked a longing for fantasy or childhood. He created these feelings by often using luminous colors and layers of oil paint and varnish, creating an infantile tone.
So what are some of the pieces included in this gallery?
Oh, well, some of the most popular pieces are from his collection called Myths and Fairy Tales. This collection includes some swell pieces, including Frog Prince, Cinderella, Pomegranate Seed, and many more.
Can I interest either of you in a drink?
Oh, don't mind if I do. But as I was saying, Parrish has many more collections, including Arabian Nights and Poems of Childhood.
Could you give us some more information on Parrish?
Of course! Parrish was born on July 25th, 1870 in Philadelphia. He attended the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts and became an illustrator. Parrish was anything but a flat tire, as he then became an illustrator. He focused on painting ritzy women for some time, but then focused on two swanky landscapes.
Well, there you have it, folks, and make sure if you have time to stop down by Extravagant Illusion to see his work. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Kalyn. Those paintings were just the bee's knees.
His work is truly exquisite. I'll have to make sure to head down there to see some of it in person.
Now, let's go to Brooklyn Book Club, which just read bestseller, The Great Gatsby.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first meeting of our book club of the month. Alba, would you like to summarize our book?
Gladly. Young Nick Carraway moves to New York, and then he meets his rich neighbor Gatsby. He's really just the cat's meow. Gatsby almost married Daisy Buchanan, and he's still stuck on her, but Daisy's married to Tom. Daisy and Nick are cousins, so Nick tries to set up Daisy and Gatsby. Daisy accidentally runs someone over, and Gatsby's the fall guy. Then this guy bumps off Gatsby in revenge, and then Daisy and Tom leave in a scram. It's such a mess.
So, what did you guys think?
Well, I loved all the description of those parties. The author F. Scott Fitzgerald really has a way with his words. I felt like I was in one of those fancy parties with the giggle water and the flappers. I mean, even though I was just reading at home with my husband, it was amazing. My husband's a real flat tire, by the way.
Oh, you know who's a flat tire? Tom Buchanan. He's absolutely lousy. He reminds me of one of those Ohio gang cronies who are always smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. Like they run this place. Ugh, Tom always with his mistress too, who's such a gold digger. That poor Daisy, she should have married Gatsby. He's a real gentleman.
That's as ridiculous as that eugenics pseudoscience. Gatsby is no gentleman. He left Daisy and didn't write to her after the war. He totally hi-hatted her.
So, did y'all like it?
This is a great book. It was almost as exciting as that Scopes trial. You know, the one where the teacher illegally taught evolution and then the lawyer cross-examined the prosecutor?
Exciting stuff. Thanks for meeting, ladies, and I'll see you next month.
Yes, see you next month.
Well, there you have it. 5 stars from the Brooklyn Book Club. The Great Gatsby was published in 1925 and can be purchased at your local bookstore.
Next month, they'll be reading Ernest Hemingway's new novel, A Farewell to Arms. The story follows Lieutenant Frederick Henry, a young ambulance driver in Italy from World War I, who takes a winter break from the conflict, and when he returns, falls in love with an English nurse's aide named Catherine Barclay. The book is based off of some of Hemingway's own experiences from the war. Although this book has caused some outrage, as due to its scandalous love affair, it's been banned in Boston, and because of the portrayal of Italy, it's banned in the entire country of Italy. Regardless, it's a swell read.
I just love that book, didn't you?
Yes, it's one of my favorites. And don't leave just yet. After the break, we bring in a famous women's rights activist and then go to our fan favorite fashion segment.
Tired of sweeping your floors or paying extreme amounts of money for a lousy vacuum cleaner? Try the new Kenmore Commander model.
For only $24.50, you can purchase the Kenmore Commander model with full beating, sweeping, and suction capability. It is as good as any $75 vacuum, but cheaper, thanks to the assembly line and mass production. If you like it, come to stores now and buy it.
Who's there?
May.
May who?
Maybe you could use some artificial ingredients in bars from Mars.
Artificial? Never! Artificial is a nasty word at Mars.
Everything's for real in bars from Mars. Milky Way bars, for instance, are made the Milky Way with gallons and gallons of fresh whole-grade A milk, fluffy whites from fresh eggs, not powdered ones, and real milk chocolate, the world's finest. That's why every bite's a luscious, chewy treat. Milky Way gives you real satisfaction because there's nothing artificial in it. Everything's for real in bars from Mars. The best candy on Earth comes from Mars.
Hello and welcome back from the break. Our next story includes an interview with Lucy Burns, a women's rights activist.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today. Please help me welcome prominent women's rights activist Lucy Burns. Woo! Yeah! Lucy is known as a key figure in the campaign for women to get the vote and has spent more time in prison for her protests than any other suffragist. But let's start from the beginning. When did you first get involved in the women's rights movement?
After doing postgraduate work in Oxford, I went to England to become involved in politics, and I soon joined the Women's Social and Political Union and became extremely involved in their work from 1909 to 1912 to secure women's suffrage.
In England, that's where you met Alice Paul, another suffragist?
Correct. The two of us returned to the U.S. in 1912 to secure our right to vote. In 1913, we held our first U.S. March for Women's Suffrage.
Wow.
With the support from our National American Women's Suffrage Association. Later, we broke off from that organization and formed the National Women's Party, and we fought for the right to vote on a constitutional state while the NAWSA worked state by state.
As the 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920, giving women the right to vote, how was your experience in this fight? Do you have any new projects?
Throughout the whole process, I remember thinking about how unjust it is that a national government that represents women ignores the issue of the right of all women to political freedom. Overall, I realized how against change people are. In one case, I went on a 19th-day hunger strike, and I was put in prison, placed in solitary confinement, handcuffed with my wrists above my head, and forced fed through a tube down my nose. Although I was fully involved in this cause, I do not plan to do anymore. We did this for all women, and I believe it is their responsibility. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back. Today, we'll be telling you about some of the latest new spiffy fashion trends.
Kalyn is at an exclusive event right now. So, Kalyn, tell us about this event and some of its features.
Thank you, Audrey. I am here at Fashion Fusion with our hoofer and showwoman, Julia. The first outfit that Julia has is both a casual and elegant two-piece dress. The top is a button-down vest with an open back. The skirt is a long, puffy, and the most swell shade of green. I'd say this dress would definitely have the men stuck on you. This here outfit is a raspberry color and showing off quite the amount of gam. The dress shown is known to be an original flapper dress.
I truly love that last dress because of its style and the way it shows off the old gam.
I agree. I wish I had some of those dresses in my own wardrobe.
Well, that's all, folks. Catch us tomorrow when we discuss what people are calling the Red Scare.
And we'll cover what to expect in the newly announced radio soap opera Clara, Lou, and M, set to premiere in 1930.
See you next time on A&A News, brought to you by the National Broadcasting Company.